All right, so Stony Brook game developers, I'm here to talk about my trip to GDC and just some of the things I learned about how to be a good game maker. As Stony Brook students, we're here to learn. We're all students. We're trying to get degrees, hopefully. Um, and the important thing is that you have to learn in your spare time. Don't just count on school, because school is just a measurement of what other people think of your success. Like grades are just a teacher's evaluation of how you leave an impression on them. The ultimate determinant of success is what you think of your own actions and what you do with your own time. What to learn? Languages. Learn a bit of every little language that you can find or that you feel like finding. Try to learn as much as possible. Try to learn the basic stuff. Don't just learn C++ and Java, like that's basically all they teach you. Try to learn stuff like Flash, XNA, Unity. Be promiscuous with the languages. Have a good tongue for many different languages, so to speak. So try to learn something on a mobile platform or on the web platform so you'll have something to show immediately to a person what you have. So you don't have to lug your laptop around to just like show something you have to compile in C++ or something like that. Try to have something that's easy to access. And if not, have an online portfolio of your work. Try to make a website. Even just making a website is pretty impressive. Um, but then have lots of little things that you've been working on. Don't just work on a few things in your classes. Do lots of little projects in your spare time that help you get a grasp on programming different types of games and different things you can make and like try to be creative. So as students, we also don't have jobs. We don't have wives or children, hopefully most of us. So we're not committed to anything like that. So we're just committed to our studentship, or I don't know if that's a word, but our studentship, and so we can just experiment and learn as much as we want. Basically, you can consider yourself doing research into how to make games and like the field of games. So learn and try to experiment. Yeah, make your computer your own little laboratory. You know, you don't need test tubes. You don't need to have a large hadron collider. A computer is all you need as a computer scientist. That's your workshop. That's your laboratory. And but of course, you got to learn the basic tools. So when you start with a language, you're not going to make World of Warcraft right off the bat. Try to make something that's as much as we might want to, but try to scale down. Try to make something simple and try to learn at least one or two languages really well. You can dabble in a few other things, but like you have to be able to say to an employer, "Oh, I know this language really well." Don't just say dabble in everything and then have nothing to show for it, and like not really be able to be confident in what you're able to do. Um, so after you've got the basic tools down, you're going to need inspiration for making something original and something inspired and something that'll really get people's attention. So how do you do that? Well, you want to be creative and you want to come at a different angle than what everyone else is doing. You don't want to just make another Bejeweled or Farmville. Farmville clone is, I shouldn't say Farmville clone. Don't just make clones of things if you want to be original. Don't just look at games and what's popular right now. If you make something that's popular and just following the trends, then you're not going to make something that you really want. You're just going to be following whatever the latest fashion, what other people want. You should make something that you want. Don't just make things that are going to come and go with the passing of time. Try to make something new. Try to make something that you want to play. Try to make something that you like, something that expresses who you are as a person. Draw from many different fields, not just games. I know you like playing games, probably. A lot of us have a lot of idol worship for uh, playing games, like the games we play, like Legend of Zelda or Mario or League of Legends or whatever. But try to draw from other fields as well. The trick to making inspired games and making games that are based on your personality is being an interesting person. Try to learn from all different fields, like art. philosophy, psychology. Even learn a little marketing because like marketing will help you sell your game. Like if you're smart enough to be a computer scientist, you should be smart enough to learn from other fields as well. So try to dabble in a little bit of everything. Um, and because you're not committed, you don't have to follow the trends. You don't have to make another Mario game. Nintendo has to make another Mario game. They need to feed their families and stuff. But you're students. You don't have families. Well, you have families, but like you don't have to pay for them. They're paying for you to go to college. So most likely. But try to uh, wait until you're in the industry before you start selling yourself for money. Um, Keiji Inafune at GDC did a talk on the future of Japanese gaming, and he said that what Japanese companies fear right now is uh, not having a winning attitude. Like he just kept saying winning over and over again. But the point of what he was saying, like Charlie Sheen, but the point of what he was saying was that you have to be hungry. You have to want to do something new. If you're a big company, you're complacent. You have an audience. You can just bandwagon on a franchise. Like he was working on, I believe, Mega Man Legends, and that game was something that he poured his heart and soul in as a producer, and it was so hard for him to like promote it. He would have to demand from press to get attention, and he just had to fight for every little press release because fans had lost faith in the franchise. So as a result, the game didn't do well. But then when he was asked to be producer for Resident Evil 2, like that game was on the rise. People were paying attention. The press were coming to him as a producer for that game. It was just so easy. And that was a watershed moment for him. That's when he realized that he could just spend his life making games easily. But there is a point to that. It makes money. But at the same time, it wasn't what he believed in. It wasn't what he believed in that he wanted to make things that would really shake things up and make a difference. And I feel like as students, we have an obligation to try and do something new. And simply because we have the opportunity, so many people are in the industry now that wish they could go back in time and be students again and make games that, since they have the chance to, since they have free time, that they wish they made, and they're looking back on it and regretting it. But you don't want to live your life in regret. So try to make something new while you're still young. So I also saw a talk by Ralph Coster, and he said that good games make companies. Good games are satisfactory, and they can sell a lot for a lot of money, and that's what makes it good. If it were a bad game, well, it could still make a lot of money if it were a bad game, to be honest. I'm not going to list any names here, but uh, it's very true that your design could be exploitative or not respect your audience. It could just be trying to get them to play your games as much as possible, but not actually trying to teach them anything new or drawing from anything that original. But those aren't great games. Great games are the games that build legacies, that build cultures, that build communities. The most memorable games are the games that came out of nowhere and that people recognized as something worth talking to people about and worth uh, even like making websites and stuff and fan art and going to conventions and cosplaying as. So try to make a great game. And he also said that he has made good games and he's made plenty of bad games for money. But he said that you should always try to make great games, and that's what he always tries to do. You might not always be able to at times, and you might have to go through a lot of bad games in order to get a chance to make a great game. But don't forget that you should always strive to make great games. So the most important thing is to do the things you want. And if gaming is something you want to do, it should be something that should be occupying even some of your spare time. It shouldn't just be something in the classroom. It's not just about the grades. It's not about teachers. It's not about getting a degree that makes other people like you more. It's about doing something that you want to do. Like I said before, the ultimate measure of success is what you think of your own time and valuing what you're doing in your own time. So if it's something you really want to do, you should meet other people who share that passion. You should go to conferences, go to conventions, go to meetups, go to write online about your games, join online communities, learn more, uh, be active. I've gone to New York Gaming Meetup, meetup.com recently, and I've also joined. I don't know if I've joined the IGDA because I haven't placed any money in their bank account, but I've signed up on their website, and I probably should join and be and have like. I went to GDC, and I saw other people who were part of the IGDA, and they had a nice ribbon on their tag, and I want to get that ribbon. It's a cool ribbon. But it's only like $30 a year, and you get to join this organization of people who share passion with you. I don't know how much they meet up, but on Game Industry, nycgameindustry.com. I want to write it down, but I'll write it down later. nycgameindustry.com. They usually advertise their meet and drinks, so go to the barcade and drink and play some arcade games and meet some people who share your interests. Yeah, good on you. Yeah, you guys should go too. Everybody go, make friends. Um, so don't just waste your life in class. Don't let that determine who you are. You have to love what you do, and what you do in your spare time determines what your true passion is.